Hey guys, so in this video, I want to talk about Avalanche, Avax. I said this several times. This is arguably my most bullish crypto I don't currently own, right? And there's several reasons why I don't own it. Most simply, I buy and sell crypto. Sometimes I trade crypto, some I hodl, and I've only got so much money to go around. But Avalanche is very much one that I keep an eye on and that I'm likely to move some profits into to compound gains. Because I've got a few crypto I bought early on in the bear market that are up and they go a little bit further. I'm going to move them into very safe gains. And I'll definitely do some degenerate gambling too. Don't get me wrong. But Avalanche, I think, is one of the safest plays that is vastly undervalued right now based off of how much money is coming in daily versus what their market cap and price is. They essentially monopolize the gaming market of crypto, which is just a niche that hasn't jumped. And that's why I think it's being so suppressed right now. It's just a narrative that hasn't popped yet. So in this video, I'm going to give you a couple of things I'm very bullish on about Avalanche. And I'm open. Not only am I open to hear what your guys' thoughts, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. So love it, hate it, never heard of it. Tell me what you think about Avalanche down below. And let's just hop into several reasons that I think Avalanche is a good crypto to keep at least on your watch list to look at for this bull run and honestly beyond, but this bull run. So the first bullish thing I have about it is I want to describe briefly the I think it's undervalued component. Let's look at a chart pretty quick. So when we look here at Avalanche, $30. Again, I don't know when you're going to see this video. This is rate cut week, so it could be a lot higher by then. Won't change too much. I see Avalanche as an awesome deal up to about $40, $45 because I think it's got an very confidently a 5 to 8x from here, very likely further, but we got to see how everything goes. But I think it's undervalued, and that's the first point I want to stress is right now the market cap is 12.68 billion. The volume, right? What it does in 24 hours. Avalanche has a lot of projects under it. It makes a lot of moves. It makes a lot of money. So every day it's trading right now $1.37 billion. The total market cap is less than 13. So doing quick estimated math, not exact by any means, is that it does about a seventh of the entire volume of what it's worth every day. So in about a week, it trades what the entire thing is worth. That is screaming undervalued for me. And you want to get into crypto when they're undervalued. Again, that is such an overused term in this field, saying this crypto is undervalued, when really they just mean that they think it should be worth more. But when you're bringing in this much fucking money every day, these are huge numbers. As a quick comparison to Solana, which is making 7.3 billion a day, so about 5x more. Look at the market cap. It's worth 10x more. So Avalanche, which is making a fifth of it per day, is a tenth of the worth. Okay, Avalanche is going to rocket at some point relatively soon, and I kind of hope that my H-bar and aerodrome positions burst first so I can move into it at a good time. I think the fact that Avalanche is big into gaming is a huge bullish endeavor. It is not the only layer one that has games onto it, right? Like Solana does some gaming. Ethereum does some gaming. Hedera does gaming and everything else under the rising sun, right? But it has the most of it, and the largest ones, the more popular ones, one under Avalanche. So as a lot of the other crypto do well, guess what Avalanche is going to do? It's piggyback directly from the ecosystem, raise the price. It's nice it has that niche, just like how Solana is kind of known as the meme system, right? Obviously, memes are everywhere, but it's one that has the most and benefits the most from it. And not all layer ones have something like that. It's a great little niche for Avalanche. And if you think crypto gaming is going to do well, by default, I feel like you have to think Avalanche is going to do well. Love to hear an argument otherwise. So though I've already just shilled how it does gaming several times, it's expanding, and expansion is usually a good thing. And in this case, I think it is. It's expanding into RWA, the real world assets, right? It has something called the Fusion Initiative, which is essentially $100 million designed to help drive, create, and build infrastructure for dApps and other companies to come in and do RWA stuff on Avalanche. $100 million, you can do a lot of positive damage with that, right? So when I heard about this, this was really cool because they're pushing to expand into what we believe, by we I mean me and many others, pushing into what's going to be the largest narrative, not just for this bull run being RWA/tokenization, but I personally think it's the future of crypto is going to be essentially all RWA and tokenization. It'll still have everything else, but I think it's going to be the largest one because then we're talking tokenization of life, right? Gold, diamonds, cars, real estate, underwear. Seriously, they already have shoes. I think it's on LCX. Everything's going to get tokenized, and Avalanche is jumping in with a lot of money supporting it to expand. Awesome sauce, dude. A little bit more on the diversification is it getting extra partnerships and use cases outside of gaming and DeFi. Things from AR entertainment, things with like Really and Regal Cinemas. It's in with something called Fandemy Rewards, which are a bunch of collectibles that are tied to movie attendance and a bunch of that kind of swag. They're having Avalanche Battle Pass coming, which is where they're going to tie multiple games together with rewards. So I'll stop. I have not dove into this aspect too much. I thought it was cool. When I look more into Avalanche, I'm going to focus and zone in this one a little bit more. But it seems like it's similar to, like Xbox or Nintendo. Always have these little medals and rewards you get for each game that you accomplish. And sometimes they have ones for in general of all games. That's what this appears to be, is a reward-based systems for playing and using all this other stuff. So it's cool when you get rewarded multiple ways for working under one ecosystem. And again, this just helps diversify a bunch of use cases way beyond just DeFi and gaming and now RWA. They're expanding and they've got the capital, they've got the scalability to do all of this, which again, that alone is bullish. They have the ability, they have the funds and design scalability to grow. I like their tokenomics. Okay, specifically, I love burn and buyback systems. When a company is able to burn or automatically buy back their own crypto, it keeps the circulating of economy going on the ecosystem. It shows strength and trust in the owners that's going to go somewhere because they want to buy and hold their own damn product. That's always a great sign. It keeps the circulating supply controlled and more narrow. And what Avalanche burns specifically is it will burn fees, right? So whenever there's fees involving Avalanche, so think about buying, selling, trading, right? Staking fees, removing and transporting, those fees are burned. So this is great because it can keep inflation controlled and manageable, which I'm not the biggest fear proponent of inflation and dilution. I understand why a lot of people freak out about it. I think they freak out too much about it, but it's still a huge plus when you have something like this to control that from occurring, because then it gets a bunch of people who are worried about it to not worry about it. Again, it's nice to see the circulating tokenomics of Avalanche. They put a lot of thought into this and have built it really the right way. Their staking, by the way, is up to just under 8%, which is like the high end of normal for crypto. I'm interested in staking anything that's 6% or higher. I will always look for more because why not? And usually a higher staking percentage comes with higher risk or longer lockups. And Avalanche, you can choose no lockups for over 7.5% APY, which is awesome. You can pull it out when you want to or when you need to. And again, back with staking rewards, those fees get burned and goes off into the cosmos. The gaming ecosystem. So I mentioned how they got a couple of games. All right, Off the Grid is probably the largest one. Maple Story is a pretty big one. And then several months back, they got a deal with a company familiar with FIFA, right? The whole little fancy foot fairy soccer games. I was a soccer player too for over a decade. But having to deal with FIFA is pretty damn big. It's a global advertisement, guys. How many crypto have global advertisements? If you just thought of a couple in your head, I bet they're all in the top 20, right? And Avalanche is probably the smallest one of them. It's awesome when they're doing that because then FIFA can get into with EA and all the subsidiary companies from there. It's got good partnerships. I remember being excited, and I remember looking into Avalanche at the time of the FIFA deal, and that was an awful time to look at it, which is why I didn't buy it. Whoop, things went up. And then lastly, there's ETFs, guys. This one, I don't think the ETF is going to come out this bull run. Let me be honest and transparent. I'm not here to blow a bunch of smoke up your guys' asses, right? But also, an ETF doesn't have to launch for price action to happen, right? One, it's Grayscale, which is one of the Grayscale and Fidelity, right? Those are the big ones. If we want to have ETFs, those are the ones we want to hear. And all that we really need is for them to talk more about it and state that, hey, it's likely going to happen. And that will be enough, especially after a couple more like Solana ETF launches. Because after Solana launches, which I think is going to happen at mid-end October, XRP and Litecoin are going to be right behind it. And they're going to start moving those and talking about the next set. And the next set they're going to start talking about is going to be, again, larger ones. They're now slightly below Solana, XRP, and Litecoin. So now we're talking Avalanche, Hedera, probably Cardano, and a couple of those other ones. And that's going to start doing the trickling effect upward. And we're probably going to have that announcement by the end of the year. So I would expect it to affect price action in all the best ways. So guys, that's it for me. Let's wrap this one up. That's what I think about Avalanche. Anything that I missed that you're really excited or bullish about with it, put it down in the comment section below. Let me know your generalized thoughts on the market, guys. I love commenting back and forth with you. Hopefully I don't piss off too many of you guys. But thanks for being here. I appreciate you all. I'll see you guys again soon. Peace and love.